I'm having a fantastic day. I had a really great night. There was a work party, and
Oh, you did go bowling.
I did go bowling. Yes, I won the first game. I didn't expect to win. I never got into the triple digits, but clearly no one else did, in who I played against. So
didn't matter. Yeah.
But eventually, everyone kind of spread around, and then didn't really matter whose name was up on the board. Anyone who was just kind of vibing, go up and grab a ball and, roll it down the lane. I did not want to go because we kind of talked about how in the Midwest, when you're kind of like hanging out in high school and you kind of have like your friends outside of school that, like my drama friends, there's nothing to do. So,
bowling's the only thing.
Bowling is the only thing to go do. And it's like everyone gets together and no one's good at it. And then you play a game and then people are like, let's play another game. And I'm always like, God, please, you want to play another game? And then sometimes they're like, I want to play a third game. And
right. They want to bowl all night.
They want to bowl for like hours.
Yeah. And nobody's good at it.
No one's good, and
there's no like competitiveness that is like making things fun. It's all just like claps around and silliness and yeah. I mean, so my experience, what we were talking about, is like bowling is more fun as an adult, which it seems you found is true.
I think I might be kind of decent at it. I think I've got decent form. I just like the very first ball I was gonna roll, I was thinking like Wii bowling, like all them hours in Wii bowling. And I was looking at the little lines in front of the lane, and I was like, okay, click it. You had to click the thing. Yeah. I was like, okay, I gotta line it up perfectly, and then, but it was a lot of fun, and they had endless refreshments that I didn't have any of any kind. They had this pizza. I decided I wasn't going to participate in the refreshments whenever they kind of the staff brought out like 8 pizzas, and I kind of picked one up and it just kind of like flopped down. People can't see me, but if you see the floppiness of this napkin I'm holding up, this was like the pizza.
It's floppy like a napkin.
It's floppy like a napkin, and then like all the sauce.
Here, hold on, guys. If you're listening, so picture Alec holding a napkin, and like you guys know how a napkin's kind of thin, and if you're holding it at one end, it would just kind of flop over. So I think what Alec is trying to tell everybody is that's kind of what the pizza did. Wow,
fucking Sherlock Holmes is in here with us. But now imagine you tried to fold the napkin and keep it straight and rigid like you would a slice with a nice crispy bottom. Impossible with this pizza. You can fold the crust up, still flops down. I'm doing a little demonstration here for Zebulon. No one else gets to see, but hit up our Patreon to see the real napkin. But it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. Everyone was in such a great mood and so encouraging of each other. It's like my bosses were there, and I don't know. It was so nice to talk to them casually. And then we all hung out, and it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I was still just like awake and chilling. I've been sipping on my water all night, and I came back home and I continued working on the album. Which, holy shit, dude.
Here, before we get too far.
Yeah.
Before we bounce subjects off of bowling, let me tell our audience my first date. One of my first dates, really ever.
Oh, brother.
So I had a crush on a girl throughout high school. And
link to her Facebook is in the bio.
Yeah, go harass her.
Yeah.
I had a crush on this girl, and they had a friend reach out to me, acting like they weren't in the same room, being like, do you like so-and-so? We'll call her Mary Sue because she was good at everything. So Mary Sue and I linked up in a very middle school way, but this was my senior year of high school, and this was my first date. Well, no, that's not technically true, but it felt like my first date in high school because I was very, very into this girl, and I felt like I was an adult, and I was driving, and all that
I felt
stuff,
like a grown-up date, like
right,
where y'all are going to do things out in the world, your own agency.
Right. And what did we do?
You went fucking bowling, didn't you?
Yeah, I went bowling.
That's
right.
Yeah.
So went bowling. So we started off. This isn't that good of a story. I'm taking too long. Here's what happened. I'm driving Mary Sue and I to go bowling. Eminem is on the radio. I'm trying to rap with Eminem. Mary Sue looks at me and is like, no, please no, which I just was invested in. At the time I was, and I still kind of am, but at the time I was very invested in making people uncomfortable. I'd kind of made it my personality to make people feel awkward. And so I was excited that she didn't like me poorly rapping to Eminem, and so I continued to poorly rap to Eminem. And then we got to the bowling alley, and we went to kiss, and I hadn't kissed a girl in a long time, years. And so I was nervous, and my palms are just dripping sweat. I remember getting there to pick her up before the Eminem rapping, and her dad was outside watering his plants, and I wouldn't even look at them. I didn't get out of the car and say hello. I just stayed in the car with my sweaty hands, just staring forward as Mary Sue walked up to my car, got in, started poorly rapping Eminem, got to the bowling alley. We kind of awkwardly got a kiss going. I don't know if I probably asked her straight up if she wanted to kiss. And then we were kissing, and I thought I was doing a terrible job. I was like, this kiss is awful and it's my fault. So we got done with the kiss and I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, no. What are you sorry for? And I was like, I just, I'm bad. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, And then she was like, no, you're fine. And then we went to make out more, and then got done with that one. And I was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, no, you're fine, And then we got out of the car, went to bowl. I was grilling her about the times she had partied, because I was very interested in possibly starting to party, and I kind of saw this girl as popular and a partier, And so I was grilling her on partying. Just awful, grilling her on her past sexual experiences, because again, I was just very interested in all of those things, and was very, very against at the time being dishonest in any capacity, which later kind of had to put together
now you lie about fucking everything.
Yep. Honesty without kindness is just cruelty,
It was definitely, yeah.
I was not on that. And so I'd just say anything that came to my mind.
Yeah, just fucking
any terrible joke.
Angsty high school senior.
Yeah, just took her on the worst date ever, and then she left. I took her home. I was so embarrassed. Felt so bad. I apologized to her through texts in multiple different ways without her ever responding multiple times. She just ghosted me for days. I got on Reddit and asked for advice on like what to do to make it better. I was freaking out. I was like, I have to start partying, like, because I'm such a nerdy loser, and I can't be a nerdy loser anymore. So what I do, called up my boy Alec.
Yep.
I said,
Zeb knew I had been experimenting with weed smoking, and none of my other friends did. No one in any of my other friend groups was drinking or smoking or anything.
not really, because it was like the filmmakers and then the theater kids were like your main circles.
Yeah.
But then you would jump into the kind of cooler kid crowds more often than either of those circles did, and that's where you'd party, but you'd also like a little bit with your older sister.
I mean,
her friends.
I didn't hang out with any cooler kids. We'll get that down pat. I was hanging out with my sister and then my coworkers.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at first I was like my only friend that had a job, and I was working, and then
So you were smoking weed with your coworker.
when you start working in a restaurant, and I was 16, and
Yeah.
you start smoking some weed, yeah. And
Yeah.
I started smoking, and then I really specifically remember one day we were in gym class. This is crazy. This is so long ago. It was about 11 years ago, like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of like jogging, and Zeb kind of like hustles up to me, and he's like, "I know you get high sometimes. I want to smoke weed with you." I was like, thank fucking God. Finally, one of my friends wants to smoke and like hang out. It was like a huge relief. Yeah. And then I remember this is the first time you had smoked.
So this was when I came up to you. This was right in the middle of me asking.
You wanted Mary Sue to be impressed.
I wanted Mary Sue to think I was cool. Like I was
sure.
I was so devastated also by the date and her ghosting me. At some point I just had to like straight up like be like, "Yo, Mary Sue in the hallway." And she was trying to, avoid me. Every time I'd seen her, she'd kind of like hustle away. And I was like, Mary Sue. And then like eventually she couldn't, I caught her, got her in a corner, she like turns around and she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll text you," or something like that. And then she texts me a big long message about how we were just very different people. And I was like, very different people. You're right. Mary Sue parties, and I'm a fucking loser. I don't party. Let me call up my cool friend, and let's get this partying going. And then I'll wrap up the story here. You could talk about us just smoking pot for the first time if you want. It sounded like you were gonna go there, but I remember after I smoked, I had you send a Snapchat of me smoking pot to Mary Sue.
Yeah.
And you weren't even like real friends with her. Like you weren't sending Snapchats to her on the regular. So it was like clearly a request. Like clearly my idea.
Oh yeah.
Like so clearly my idea.
Right.
Which I thought was cool for some reason. I don't fucking know.
You know what's crazy? I don't think Mary Sue was that much of like a partier. Didn't she end up giving our like valedictorian speech or something?
Yeah, but yes, but she would like drink and go to like frat parties.
Got you.
She was. I mean, at that point, she had said that she was like done with partying, that she'd like done all of her partying and was no longer interested in it.
Gotcha. That's funny as hell. Yeah, we were in my
but
shed.
She would hang out with like party people.
Got you. That makes sense. Either way, that's funny as hell. Yeah, we sent her that picture of you smoking that bong in my shed. It was freezing outside, and
She did not respond.
no, she didn't respond to that. That shed
Also,
was...
Alec
What?
Alec got me high. Crane got me high. Hold on, I'm just worried that I'm peaking a bunch. Maybe I don't. No.
Yeah, I've had to...
Alec got me high for my very first time with a giant bong with sour diesel weed and had me rip it like 3 times. Like full send, told me like, and like really wanted to make sure that I actually got high. So told me all of the things of like, you have to actually suck it in. And then like, he was also on some like teenager shit where he's like, you got to hold it in for 4 seconds. So he had me take like three massive bong rips off of like very good weed. Very first time ever even touching weed. And I don't think I've ever been so high.
You'll never be that high again.
I'll never be that high again.
No, that was...
And then I kept asking you if I was high because I was really like confused and didn't know what the feeling felt like.
Yeah, we didn't know for a while. And then like the first time your body has to like get used to it, and then you like, you know, start to realize what the feeling is. And
yeah, but you should have just told me. Yes, so I could like calm down on it and be like, yes, you are high, this is the feeling. And instead you just kept going, I don't know, do you feel high? And I'd be like, I don't know. And you'd be like, well, I can't tell you. Yes, you could have. Yeah, you could have told me. You could have just been like, yeah, dude, you just smoked a bong of sour diesel.
There came a point where I could tell you were high because you were playing guitar and singing, and we were both just like screaming,
and I
laughing.
don't play guitar or sing.
Yeah, and we were both just like dying fucking laughing, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're fucking baked. Definitely.
And I remember I thought that feeling that I was going through was what the feeling was every single time somebody would smoke weed, right? Like, just insane euphoria, just absolutely, like, not being able to think straight, not being able to, like, conceptualize simple things, you know, motor function all over the place, blood bubbling like hot soup. And I was fucking flabbergasted that people would come to school high or drive high or do anything high, because I was like, these people are fucked.
They're maniacs.
Up.
Yeah.
They're maniacs. Of course, it's, you know, don't drive high, avoid it, but it's not the same thing as
right. You get used
somebody
to
driving
like
a little
anything.
bit stoned is not the same thing as what I was feeling the first time I smoked weed.
Well, yeah, for sure. That was a good time.
That was a great time, great memory. Talk about your new album.
Dude. Yeah, that's a really great memory. My new album. I've been writing this album for
too long.
A few months. Not too long. Not too long. I haven't been writing it.
No, too long.
I've not been writing it for very long, is what I would say.
What I would say is you've been writing it for as long as since Brassy. Now, you might have scrapped it a few times, but I've been waiting for an album. I've been waiting for an Alec Crane album for quite a long fucking time. Okay, bud?
Yeah.
What are you? Is this detox? Okay.
I've written and scrapped at least like a dozen albums since my album in 2018. And just, you know, poor organizational skills and lack of follow through. And also
just life.
Yeah, Yeah, fucking life for sure. And so I wrote a new album for the last couple months, like 3 months. I finished writing it, and I I think I finished writing it like a month ago actually. And I hadn't done any work on it production wise until yesterday, day before, either yesterday or the night before that. And it's going really, really, really fucking well. It's
You're a bit close to the mic.
What'd you say?
I think you're a bit close to the mic.
Yeah, I think so. I can confidently say it's great music.
All right.
Like, it's definitely the best music I've ever made. I mean, that's like not even a comparison.
It's not even close.
Nothing I've ever released has even a hair on it, which is really great. Because I was so confident in the songwriting and the melodies that I put together when I wrote the album.
But you weren't sure you were going to be able to translate it.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to sell it on the production side because I have a long history of writing songs and then sitting down to produce them and just kind of getting nowhere. And that is not what has been happening. I've been making very, very, very beautiful, pretty sounds. Playing my guitar, got the harmonica going all like soulfully. It's a really interesting sound. I'm real fucking happy with. And I definitely feel like tooting my own horn because I've gotten the habit of not doing that. And I need to do it more if I want this album to keep being amazing. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, you gotta, there is like a thing that I want to like kind of point out and recognize is that if it sounds like Crane is being like a little arrogant or conceited about his next music, it is almost, well, like A, whatever, maybe he is, who cares, but B, it's almost a necessity when you're in the middle of creating a project to, at least in my experience, to start to believe that it is going to be like the best motherfucking thing ever. So you can have that motivation, and you go back and forth between these feelings of like, at some point, I'm sure in the next few months, especially once Crane's getting a little bit closer to finishing it, he might be talking very differently about like what the music is, and then he'll have to kind of go back into this mode of like, no, this is the shit. And it's this back and forth when you're creating a project of being like, everything all the way from this is the best, most interesting music or art that anybody's ever heard to I'm ass and this is worthless and I'll never finish it and I am a dog shit artist and I'm not even an artist and I'm never releasing any of this. In fact, I've been writing some new music and that's what's going to be good. And then you got to yank yourself back into being like, no, this is awesome. And I think it's a natural thing that maybe not everybody can relate to, even artists. Maybe a lot of people have a very different process, but I find it very natural to get super arrogant, then super down on yourself, then super arrogant again, and then everything in between. That's
the process of making music for sure, man.
Yeah.
Definitely the process of making movies. Fuck.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, you described it very well. And Ableton is amazing. I can't believe I haven't been using it for years. People hearing that I'm a musician and I'm just now, I've been a musician for almost 10 years, and I've just now started using Ableton. Well, I used to use Ableton like.
You want to explain what Ableton is?
Ableton is a DAW, a digital audio workshop. It's like the most refined and kind of like the most popular DAW out there besides like Fruity Loops. It's you use it for making music and recording audio, and they've got like drum machines and pianos and instruments and other stuff.
Yeah, it's a audio software program for creating music. Probably the one most people are familiar with is GarageBand, but there are obviously more professional, more expensive ones. And Alec had been using Reason for a long time, but has arguably upgraded.
I don't even call it a competition or an argument.
Not even close.
It's way fucking better.
That's awesome. I don't understand.
It's also way more fucking expensive.
With Reason? Because it was cheaper?
It was cheaper. It was full. It was a full software with a lot of capability. I think there was a kind of sale, but the main reason was because, do you remember SMP Films?
No.
Wow, this is old YouTube. I can't even remember the video he was popular for. He was popular for a few videos, but he made songs. Little funny. He made like a little funny song about his cat, and I knew that he had used Reason. And whenever I started wanting to make music, I thought back to that YouTube video, and it was like the only software I knew of.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this professional YouTuber is using it, so
gotta be good.
Gotta be good, you know. And I'm, still wanted to make content, and funny songs, and I wanted to see if I could, use Reason for that.
For both, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was correct, of course. Reason is a great software. It's really, really great. But it just doesn't have the kind of capability that Ableton does. Ableton's just really, really diverse and has a lot of shit, a lot of depth, a lot of instruments.
A lot of tools.
The built-in sounds in Reason are better. The built-in samples and like drum kits are better. But I don't even really use those very much. I like to make most of the sounds myself. Except like sometimes drums. I won't create them. I'll just pull them out. I'll just, use the software and the MIDI and the keyboards, and they got sounds in them. But a lot of this album is going to be sounds that I've created and I've brought in from the outside world. Like sometimes when I get off of work, when I'm walking home, I will just press record on my phone, and I will just walk home, and I'll get all sorts of crazy fucking bits, things that people say, and I have a few of those files that I've incorporated into every track.
Nice.
And it's gonna have a real New Yorky, streety sound. I really want it to feel like you're just kind of like standing in the street with the wind blasting at you, on a
New York street
in a nice warm day.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for it.
Although I would say that a good portion of the lyrics are actually like pretty depressing, but it's still kind of like a lot of them are really postured in a fun, easy to digest way.
Well, that's such a classic, great juxtaposition to have in music.
Oh yeah.
Is to have depressing ass lyrics with a super, super happy sound. One of
the Smiths.
Sure, or one of the best examples is Hey Ya by Outkast, where he specifically calls out that fact, where he's saying all these depressing lyrics, and then he says, y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. Hey Ya.
It's a great track. Fucking Outkast is great.
And then, like, I think another good example somebody had pointed out, I think just on TikTok I saw, was, I forget the name of it, but it was one of the Oliver Tree tracks that he'd released, and it didn't do well. It was kind of depressing lyrics, and then also kind of a sad, slower tone to it, and nobody really liked it. And then somebody sped it up. Everybody liked it, and then they sped it up. That was like a big old controversy, actually, of him kind of like stealing a remix of his own song. And it was very popular. Anyway, my point is not to talk about that sort of controversy, but just to say that the song didn't do well when it was sad lyrics, sad sound, and then everybody loved it when it was sad lyrics, fun sound.
Yeah.
And, and I think the opposite, actually, while it might be less common, is also really awesome. Sad sound, fun lyrics. Like, you've got a very positive, hopeful, message, but you've got this melancholy sound to it that also works really well. I find that in a lot of Pine Grove. Is that who I've been listening to a bunch? I think so.
The only example I could really think of was like Midwest emo, or like, let's see, happy lyrics but sad vibe. Definitely get that from like some Lana Del Rey tracks. Her most recent album is like a fucking masterpiece. I've listened to it a million times. I mean, it's just...
Who's again? I'm sorry?
Lana Del Rey.
Lana.
Yeah. Just the personal...
it's very good.
Songwriting and production, and... Fuck, it's just like... How do you make something so meaningful and emotional? It's like she feels more feelings than me. I can tell from listening to the song. She feels more feelings, and she feels them deeper. I didn't think it'd be so uncomfortable and not fun to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll probably get cut this part.
Yeah, we'll cut that part. If there's been a weird edit, we've decided to cut out a portion of the episode because I thought the story was going to be a lot more fun, and it was just kind of dry and not fun.
Yeah, dry, kind of sad.
It was kind of sad, yeah.
Anyway,
dude, it's really fucking nice in New York, like weather-wise right now. Is it hot in Missouri?
It's kind of cool, kind of nice this morning. I think it's kind of heating up, warming up now.
Yeah, the weather goes back and forth. Not like Missouri, but
not quite as intense in shifts.
Dude, that movie Waiting for Guffman. If anyone has seen Waiting for Guffman, I don't know what to tell you. I hope I've enjoyed it. It's great. I recommend it.
Yeah, comment down below and
a quote from the movie, please. But
and
they say
Alec will respond.
No, I won't. Anyway, so we got. I'll happily respond if y'all are pulling out the Guffman quotes. But they say if you don't like the weather in Missouri, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they
That's
use that.
The classic.
Yeah. And anyone who doesn't know about the movie Waiting for Guffman is just this Christopher Guest mockumentary about a small town in Missouri, and the main character's from New York. So it's a really fun watch, especially for me because I live in New York now and I'm from Missouri.
Hell yeah! I did want to tell everybody I talked about making a Filet-O-Fish edit last episode, I made that edit. I made that little cap cut video. And if you missed last episode, there's been a lot of memes recently of Kendrick's diss, fuck the big three, it's just big me, about Drake and J. Cole. And everybody's been pairing up three things and then, choosing what their favorite thing is to be Kendrick.
Right.
And we were talking about a chef putting caviar on a Filet-O-Fish. And I was like, oh man, I got to make a McDonald's edit. Made that edit, Filet-O-Fish as Kendrick, chicken nuggets as J. Cole, and French fries as Drake, or swap those if you want. And whatever you think is more apt. Right. More applicable. But it is now our most viewed, most commented, and most liked piece of content ever. and to be clear, it didn't blow up. We're just so unpopular. We're just so unpopular that this one video that got a mild amount of attention from TikTok is our most successful thing. And it's great. It's also, unfortunately, kind of what I expected, but we put so much work into so many other things, and nobody gives a shit. And everybody really loved the Filet-O-Fish edit. So that's great. Thanks, guys.
It's hilarious. I love that. Drake came back pretty fiery. I don't know if you listened to Drake's
I liked it.
retort, but it was good.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It was
real fun.
That's so much fun that's what happened. Because a lot of people were like, oh, Drake will just, be quiet about this and just send subliminal shots for years. And but nah, he came back at everybody, and I love it. I respect it. It's so much fun to have something interesting happening in hip rap.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy with Drake's diss. I'm certainly not the biggest Drake fan, but
right, me neither.
When he comes out with a diss, oftentimes it really, really hits. Back to Back is such a fun song.
Oh yeah, Back to Back
is
great, man.
Such a fun song, and this is also a very fun song.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really like it, and there's some lines in there that I absolutely love. He did hand him his first number one.
Yeah, Kendrick and Future.
Yeah, this is a good call out. Talking about all of the artists that wipe the floor with Kendrick that he thinks do.
It's like you're not in the big three of any kind.
Yeah, Travis got you wiped down. SZA got you wiped down.
And when he says Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah, that's great.
As a producer, that just hurt. It's like, oh man,
it's so
dismissive.
It's so good. I know. That's so funny.
What's funny about Drake and rap beefs is, like, arguably no one in rap history has ever been washed as badly as Drake either. Then through with the Pusha T beef. Drake got absolutely fucking didn't know what.
My significant other had never heard the story of Adidon.
Oh yeah.
And so after we listened to Drake's response to Kendrick, I had to play her Pusha T's just the most vicious. There was a guy on TikTok talking about how he was very disappointed that J. Cole had apologized to Kendrick. And he was like, what happened to the sport that I love? And he was talking about, like, we were having ethics debates over whether or not Pusha T could, like, morally do what he did in the story of Adidon. Like, is it okay to rap about a guy with multiple sclerosis. I don't know how to say it.
Sclerosis.
I'm a big
idiot.
Yeah. And drop it. He dropped that track on MS Day.
I forgot about that. Whoa.
About Drake's. If you don't know the story, there's a really terrible line about Drake's friend OVO being hunched over like he's 80. How much time he got? That boy is sick.
Yeah. His name's 40. OVO's the label, but.
Oh, got you. Okay, yeah.
But still, fucked up. I mean, yeah, it was like your man's gonna die. Haha.
And it's like so like it's not even a diss. Like
no, it's just like you're gonna go through some pain soon. Ha.
That's so fucked up.
You're gonna undergo a terrible life tragedy that is like the number one thing people in life want to avoid. Haha.
Is he dead?
I don't think so.
Well, that's been Nothing Really Radio, episode 2. Sorry if it's a little shorter. We talked about some things that
were a little dirty.
We were a little nasty, a little naughty.
A little.
Say it.
We're naughty, dirty boys.
Yeah, we are.
Is that what you wanted me to say?
Yeah, say it again.
Nah. That's okay.
Okay.
But I'll
we'll see you next week.
Hold on. I'll send us off with a little tune.
All right.
That was Love Me Do by the Beatles.
Nice. Discord didn't pick up any of that. I hope Audition did. I could not hear any of that.
Audition's definitely got it.
Beautiful. Thanks for listening, guys.
Did you hear that?
Nope.